It takes time for our thoughts and ideas to take root. The process from ideation to manifestation is similar to the pregnancy birthing process. And if we're not careful, we'll give birth to things we really don't want. Check your thoughts, because whatever you let take root will still produce fruit, good or bad. What's up, Black Man? I'm Jamal Calpin, and welcome to the Beneficial Black Man channel, where we focus on overcoming gray mediocrity to become beneficial for our community by discussing faith, creativity, personal development, and mental and emotional health management. How y'all doing? Hopefully you are doing well, protecting your mental, finding time for an emotional release valve, and continuing to strive to become beneficial. So I know I talk about and discuss the importance of thoughts on this channel because I think it plays a really, really big part in how we live and the results that we see in our own individual lives, but also in our communities. And since I am personally on this journey and trying to encourage other brothers, more of you, to be on this journey to be beneficial for the Most High and for your community, it really starts with the thoughts. Our thoughts, our ideas turn into beliefs, and then those beliefs turn into behaviors and actions. And so we have to be real careful about the thoughts that we have. We have to be very careful about our mental and emotional health and well-being in that state, because if it ain't good, it ain't good. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your thinking is bad, your beliefs are bad, then your behavior is bad. And that can manifest in so many different ways. It can manifest in you not showing up how you need to show up for those around you. And it can also look like you not showing up for yourself. And so I just recently watched a past live stream from a brother named Julian Gordon, who talks about finances. He talks about multifamily real estate. He talks about a lot of good stuff. And part of the content that he shares, the information that he shares, is about developing like your financial, not literacy, but financial like mindset, developing financial mindset. And he does a lot of things using the Bible. And you know, for some people, he can be a little out there, a little out there in the stuff that he's saying. But I think a lot of the things and the ideas and thoughts that he shares are actually really, really beneficial. And if you want to sit and check out his content, definitely do. It's Julian Gordon. I'm going to pull it up on the screen, and I'm going to share a clip from his talk entitled "The Only Two Choices You Have in Life Are Yes or No." And this is part of a series that he was doing from a book that he wrote. He's reading passages or chapters from his book and discussing them and adding more context to it. And the name of the book is Rich and Righteous. And again, it's about helping you to develop financial mindset. But there was a nugget that he shared in here that I thought was really, really good. So let's go ahead and listen to that and get more to why it's important that our thoughts go through like this delayed process of when we have an idea or we have a thought, and then it cycles through before it actually manifests in our life, and why that's so important for us, and why we should take advantage of that time delay before thoughts just come to reality. So right here in this part, he's just talking about getting a copy of his book. And so part of how he's his marketing of his book is when you buy the book from his website, it's $100. But when you buy it, you get 5 copies of the book, and you also get a workbook, and you also get a copy of the audiobook. And the idea is you pay for this book, you keep 1 copy for yourself, and then you give away the other 4 to other people that you want to invest to in their life, and you care about their financial well-being and their financial mindset, and you want change in their life too, right? And so he's breaking that down and he's talking about it, but then he's getting ready to give a little bit more details to the impact that our thoughts have in our life, and how the thoughts that we had before, all the beliefs and things, slowly through a process have manifested themselves in our lives. And so where you are now very often is a result of where your thoughts and your beliefs were previously. So let's take a quick listen to what he has to share.
Hey, if you are in a temporary state of lack right now, it is a temporary state. But remember, the lack that you are experiencing right now is a delayed result of the thinking that you had months or even years ago. The lack that you are experiencing right now is the harvest from seeds you sown in the past. So even though you are here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right now, you are planting new seeds. And this is where I've encouraged all of you to be patient, because the moment you plant a seed is not the moment you harvest. So we are planting new seeds right now, richer seeds into a richer soil, so that in the near future, you start to see the abundance that comes from what you are planting today. Listen to me very carefully, family. You do not want to manifest immediately. I know some of you want to be rich right now, and you are internally, okay? But I know you want that to match externally right now. But think about that. If you manifested immediately, think about all the negative thoughts that you have in your life. Think about the negative thoughts that run through your mind. What if those also manifested immediately? What if those also manifested immediately? You see, the law doesn't care whether you have a negative thought or a positive thought. The law is the law. Okay, these universal laws are just law, so it doesn't care if it is a negative thought or it's a positive thought. So this is why some of you, not some of us, most of us want a time delay between our thought and the thing. We actually want a time delay, because if we have a negative thought, that time delay gives us time to deny and remove and uproot that negative thought before it actually manifests in our life. Do you understand that? So the law operates whether the thought is positive or negative, it operates. And if you manifest it immediately, the moment you had a negative thought or a positive thought, it manifested immediately, your life, many of your lives would be in shambles because of your thought life. Your physical life would be in shambles because of your thought life, because of all the negative thoughts that run through your mind. If those manifested immediately, you would all be in trouble. So we don't actually want to manifest with speed and immediacy, okay? We actually want there to be a time delay so that we can be sure that that is what we want. And that time delay also gives us opportunity to actually believe. It puts us in a state of believing and faith in the unseen. It gives us that opportunity to believe in it. And that belief is really an indication of your desire, or that you actually want that thing. That period of belief between the moment you thought about something and the moment you received it, is that period of belief is the time that allows you to say, this is what I want and what I need in my life. We actually need that time delay. Do you understand that?
So yeah, I mean, I fully agree with brother Julian Gordon here that, one, we need that time delay, but everything you're saying is true. Like, the thoughts that we have, it goes through this process, and even though it can be quick, it can be quick within our mind. From, say, you want to pick up a pen or you want to close your laptop or whatever. Yeah, it starts with a thought. It goes through the process of belief that you can actually do it, and then the action happens. But there are other things that we can be thinking, and thoughts that we can repeat over and over and over and over again in our minds, that turn into beliefs, that can turn into strongholds that impact our actions and our behaviors. And if we're going in this process of trying to become beneficial men, we have to be mindful of that and make an effort to question these thoughts. We have to check, what are our beliefs? What are our thoughts? And even analyze and examine the actions that are in our lives. Because if we're having bad issues with our health, if we're having bad issues with our relationships, if we're having bad issues financially, if we're having, the manifestation of things in our life that we're like, something's not right, we got to get to the root of it. And very often it starts with our thoughts. It is connected to our beliefs that influence our actions. And so, yeah, we may be manifesting things currently in our lives from stuff that existed from when we were children. Things that, happened to us 5 years ago, things that happened to us 3 months ago. And I know this to be true. And personally, because of self-sabotage, when you have limiting beliefs and you start to believe things about yourself, things can turn into a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I'm sure maybe you have experienced this. You're thinking, oh, this is not going to turn out well. This isn't going to work out for me. I'm afraid this is going to happen. You keep thinking it and thinking it and thinking it. And then the situation comes up and it turns out and happens exactly the way that you were thinking it. Exactly the way that you had believed. And a lot of us struggle with that. We get to these places where we don't know. We don't know how we got there, but it started with a thought. It led to a belief, and it then manifested itself in a behavior. And I think there is scripture that relates to that. in the book James, in the book James, chapter 1, verses 13 through 16. Let me pull that back up. This passage reads, "Let no one say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, and he himself tempts no one. But each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death. Do not be deceived, my beloved brothers." I'm going to read it again in the King James, because again, I don't know. The King James Version just works for me. If it'll pull up, read it one more time. James chapter 1, verses 13 through 16. "Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempts he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust has conceived, it brings forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, brings forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren." And I see, to me, how this relates is we have these initial desires, whether they're good or bad, and those can be tied to initial thoughts. And it goes through a process that, if we're not careful, can lead to sin. In the case of this scripture, it can lead to death. It can lead to the outcome and manifestation of a lot of things that we don't want. But the thing is, we're able to intercept our thoughts. Similar to what we can see in the scripture, and similar to what Julian Gordon said, like, we can intercept our thoughts. We can intercept bad beliefs in our life so that we can have better outcomes. But that requires us to be self-reflexive. That requires us to take time to really question the things that are happening in our life, and it requires us to make an effort to become and manifest better things in our life. And I mean, when I use the word manifest, I'm not using it in the sense of like making money come from the sky or anything like that, but just like producing the fruit that we really want. And if we're on this journey striving to become beneficial men, we have to be very, very intentional about our thoughts, about the things that we believe, and about our actions. Because if we're striving to live for glory, live for something bigger than ourselves, and to serve those around us, that requires intentionality. That requires us to be considerate. It requires us to listen to other people. It requires us to do the work to be better. But if we don't do that, if we don't make an effort to intercept our thoughts, to check our mental, to see where we are, to make sure we're in good health, mentally, emotionally, all those things, anything can just be birthed and produced from our lives. But that's not beneficial. That's not beneficial for us, because again, like I said, I wrestle with self-sabotage myself often. And that really started from me having so many negative, doubtful, and fearful thoughts about my own life. And I just let those thoughts run rampant. And eventually they took root, they became a belief, and they impacted my behavior. It led to depression, led to anxiety, led to me not putting in the effort that I needed to in running my business, making sure I showed up for those around me. Because it started with a thought. And so I want to encourage you, like, black man, take the time to uproot and destroy those bad thoughts and ideas before they lead to fruit that you don't want in your life. Check yourself. Take time, even if you need to meditate, if you need to journal, and question and not antagonize, interrogate your thoughts. Really wonder, why do I think what I think? Why do I believe what I believe? Question the things that you're taking in and how they are impacting you. Question, why do I do the things that I do? Because as you ask these questions, you can get a better understanding of yourself, get a better grasp on your mental and emotional health and well-being, so that you can make better decisions, have better thoughts, so that you can continue to become a better and a more beneficial man. Again, not only for your community, but also for yourself. I would also encourage you to check out the video I did entitled, "Is the Problem with Black Men Mental Illness?" It's a 4-part series, but the first part is the problem with black men mental illness? We got to get our thoughts together. Again, it can be subtle and it can also take a lot of work. But our thoughts, I honestly believe our thoughts impact our beliefs, impact our behavior. And for us to become beneficial, we got to take control of that. Black man, you're called for more than mediocre living. You're here for a purpose, to live for glory and for good. Let's do the work to keep choosing to become beneficial for our community. Protect your mental, find time for an emotional release valve, and keep striving to become beneficial. I believe in you. Make something for yourself, of yourself, and for glory and for good. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Yo, I realize life can feel like trash sometimes. It's like you keep catching L after L, and nothing you do seems to make life any better. I've been there. Disappointed, frustrated, tired, beat down, just feel like giving up. What I've learned is that all you need to make it through the ups and downs of life is just a little bit of help. So I want to share with you the tools that I've learned to turn my bad days into good days. These simple pieces of wisdom have changed my life, and I know they'll change your life too. So go get a copy of my new book, Make Bad Days Good, a set of simple tools to take control of your life on Amazon today. Listen, things can get better. Peace.